Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the second video of Monday. This one's going to be our Alliance Wars Saga based attackers that are rather good. This of course is to help anybody out that's kind of struggling for ideas, suggestions and things like that. Shout out to the community. I put out a community tab post 10 days ago and I asked who has been working well for Alliance Wars meta so far. And of course said for me it's Mole Man and Gladiator. But of course I was curious as to like anybody else that you've been ranking up using has been very effective. That's why we've put this video together to help out anybody that may be struggling to think of options and ideas and counters. Of course, do bear in mind it's not just about some of the Saga champions because there are alternatives you could use, but let's face it, a lot of people are using those Saga based attacker champions and doing rather well, which is always nice to see. I've put a link in the description to the spreadsheet we're going to be referring to, but let's get right into it, shall we? Of course, we know that the big thing is about using clarity-based champions. Clarity-based champions I've put on the spreadsheet as well, so we can have a good idea of like who and what to use. If the attacker has the #clarity tag, each hit in a combo meter and each buff gained, other than the dexterity mastery, grants a clarity charge. Reaching 10 clarity charges consumes them to grant clarity passive for 10 seconds. Max stacks 5. Each clarity passive reduces opponent's critical resistance by 30% and prevents the activation of auto block and evade. These clarity passives are paused during defender's special attacks and are not affected by ability accuracy. So far things have been good. I'm just really glad to be away from the Ex-Magicka stuff. I just got incredibly bored with that, and at least this is something of a breath of fresh air, but also a chance to use some of those champions that maybe you've not really considered. Also gave me an opportunity to play Gladiator and really enjoy him, which was fantastic. Ranked to that 7-star. So yes, there's tons of options out there. You can see some on screen right now as we go through some of the various and different options. My particular picks of champions, by the way, before I go into like some other ones, is Angela. Angela is incredible. The more signatures you have on the champion, if you do have a buff, then it does mean it improves your percentage. For each buff on Angela, her opponent suffers the following: nullify and auto block ability accuracy. So it's minus 45%, 35%, sorry, I can't see. So yeah, get the buffs and it helps out. That's the main thing. Grow your buffs with Angela, and she's effective. And also damaging debuff duration is down. This has been a go-to champion for me to take on Shuri. A lot of the time enemies are putting Shuri on my defense. I haven't joined Alliance Wars defense at the moment, but if towards the end of the video, I'm going to be interested to see like which ones I'm going to be planning for my route, but also if there's a Shuri on defense. Every time there seems to be either a Shuri on defense, a Guardian on the defense of the route that I normally take. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Well, Bullseye's normally on there, and that's sort of fine because I have a counter for that. But if we're talking about clarity champions to take on the route, Angela is very effective. Or someone to put on a Penny Parker. And the reason that I'm going towards using Gladiator as an option is that he is power control immune. So he's like immunity to power drain, power burn effects. And also his personal damage over time effects cannot have their durations change, which is again is good because it depends on who's on the defense. As well as Mole Man. Mole Man's been an effective use just for easy access of countering, but also low health for high damage. High signature is the way to go. Shock immunity. Now I'm not saying it's all about me and my path, I'm just kind of explaining the reasons as to like why a certain champion has been good for whatever reason. Getting this champion up to Frenzy does mean I'm able to do a relentless amount of damage, but also being Saga means I can kind of flip between going, let's focus on the Frenzy, let's not worry about the evade and the true accuracy interaction, which obviously is important with the champion. As well as having that bleed debuff on. He's a purifier. There's a lot of things going on for the champion. But there are others. You're probably saying at the end of this video, well, I would use this and that, Rich. Well, that's good because there's a whole list, as you can see right here, of options that do different types of interactions. You've got so many. Vox has been a champion that has been, I'd say, blowing up people's interest. And depending on where you take the champion in battling, you will find a either need, want and desire, like hazard shifts. Not saying him for hazard shifts, but what I'm talking about is hazard shifts. You could find yourself going up against a whole plethora of champions on defense and go, well, this champion covers A, it covers B. Yeah, but I've got to think about C and D. Well, what if you have a champion that, based on the Saga interaction, does A, B, but also does C, D? That's what I'm kind of like trying to give a bit of a flavour right here. So I've got several champions on screen right now. I've got a quick little write-up of things that are beneficial or good about the champion. Having the likes of Deathless King Groot gives you armor breaks, bleed immunity, debuff shrugging, and regen if you obviously got the Awakener version, and an SP3 rotation. So it can be very effective, very sustainable, and of course does have that that incinerate damage. Spider-Verse champions seem to be placed quite a bit. So of course, when there's Spider-Verse champions, what you should bring in? Well, of course you've got to bring in a Venom. You know, spider counter directly, evade counter, of course, but it doesn't really play into... It's not a key thing because of clarity. And having armor breaks as well does help out with the champion. We've also mentioned, Mole Man having great damage at lower health, but also debuff Purify, which again can be very effective. And of course, we've got the ones I mentioned, which was having Gladiator and Angela. But it doesn't take away from the fact we mentioned Vox. Vox is a vigilance buff, which can have that interaction, I think, to suppress or counter miss. But also has a poison immunity and power control immunity, degen debuffs, and great damage overall. I feel like I'm missing something. I definitely know that there's... And also there's other champions, which we'll talk about in a minute. Let's get into... I just want to like double check. I thought we were in an alliance war. We're not in an alliance war. That's weird. Huh. Oh no, we are in an alliance war. I just pressed the wrong button. Oh, sometimes it's silliness. So here's a good example, right? On my particular path, I do have as an opponent Gladiator. Do you know what? This is more of an easier kind of like path for me. But I am surprised with this. This is the first war where I've not seen a Shuri, a Guardian, a Domino, a Nick Fury on defense. That's really annoying because that is actually really annoying because I was thinking to myself, what we could do is just showcase some options where people have set these as defenders, and we can say we can either bring in these as counters for this. But I don't know if you've noticed, I've got nothing. Damn it! I've got nothing that's kind of like node related. It's nothing to the Saga and the defense tactic. Okay, so basically for the video, right? We'll just mention some of these being good champions. That scuppered the video, didn't it? Because I was thinking, oh, that's right. I'll bring these because they'll put these. There'll be Saga-based defenders, but it's not. There's nothing on my path that's Saga-based, and also looking around, there's very few that have been tapping into the Saga-based defense tactic. Anyway. The point still remains. I'm still going to continue on with the video. I'm not going to abandon it because I thought I've spent so much time on this spreadsheet. I just thought it'd be important to kind of like give people options. So, Cosmic Ghost Rider, fantastic damage, fantastic champion. That is a champion that has been quite frequently banned, and that's something to kind of like do bear in mind. Like some of these great champions, which you may be bringing in as counters, like for me, it was bringing in Angela. There are ones that, of course, been banned. I've just got to like quickly check what has been banned this time around, and as you can see, well, at least 1 point still remains. Like this particular alliance has indeed. I don't know if is this the alliance that have banned these. I thought there was 2 more bans. Anyway, they might have done this then. The alliance have banned Cosmic Ghost Rider and Mole Man, which again is very interesting. Doesn't necessarily affect my particular pair up because champions are going to be using are not going to be the ones that I mentioned, because as I did say, did I say at the start of the video? Or I've definitely mentioned in the spreadsheet. You don't have to use any of these counters because there are non-clarity options. And of course, when they've not fielded the particular tactic, you don't need to use some of these champions. I think you must get that in this video. If you didn't, then of course there will be people in the comments that will just say, yes, but you don't have to use this. And that's the point. You don't have to use this. It's just interesting to go, these are great options. Plenty of people have recommended other champions in that particular community tab. They were going, well, I've used Bullseye. Great. Some people were even saying that they used Maestro. Interesting. Nova, again, a great champion. Not really something for me, but it could be something for others. Null and Scorpion have been used as well. Actually, I can't remember if Scorpion's in this. Yeah, I had this bit of a moment where I was reading through it, and I don't know if Scorpion's actually in it. I think he's down as he's more of a defended based option. So I don't know. A lot of people have mentioned they've used Scorpion. Heck yeah, if you're using those champions. There's also non-Saga champions, except that, well, isn't there isn't, okay? Because you could say, well, Spider-Ham should be in there. I need to change this around when I'm going to go live because people have said they've used Spider-Ham, so really they should go into, those two should go into there because they are Saga based. But I don't know if people are saying they're using these as defense or offense. If you're using for offense, then fair play. But if you're using for defense, then interesting. But people are using Annihilus. Now, Annihilus is a very interesting counter. Hulkling, I get. Rintra, whoever's using that, fair play to you. But Annihilus is actually a very interesting option. Let's have a quick look at him before we finish the video. So Annihilus has got, as part of his kit, when while taunted, gain a true accuracy buff. So that's the thing that they're pointing out of usage, where an unblockable buff, an unstoppable buff. Oh, hang on. While taunted, gain a true accuracy buff, and so you get all three. Sorry. And these are countering auto block and evade effects. So I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in extra options. It's not really my cup of tea in Annihilus, but I know that there are people out there that like different champions. So hey, each to their own with their choices. I do recommend Gladiator, Angela, Mole Man, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and a champion that I'm starting to use a bit more of, Adam Warlock. I picked him up as a 7-star. I can't remember if I actually duped him as a 7-star. But either way, he's all good. He's all fine. We've got a few more champions, I think, to get rank up and get sorted. But it's house move week. No, I haven't awakened him. It's house move week, so that's the thing that's most and also getting videos done before that's done. So yeah, what have you been using effectively? Put it in the comments. Have you used any of the Saga champions more than some of the ones mentioned? Let us know. Thanks very much for watching this video. Check out some other content located on the screen. I'll see you soon. Have a lovely day and goodbye.